Today marked probably the biggest, most anticipated event of the year once the D23 Expo comes around. In today's video, we're going to break down all the exciting news that was announced from the D23 Expo panel all about the Disneyland resort. What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to Exploring Attractions. My name is Scott, and you're watching your stop for all things theme park and attraction related. If you're new here, consider subscribing down below with those bell notifications on, and make sure to check out all of our social media and everything else down below in the description. That's right, everybody. Today was the day we've all been waiting for, the Disney Parks and Experience panel at the D23 Expo. We all know there's been lots of news coming out in regard to movies and different Disney-related stuff, but today was the big one. Today was the day that we're going to get big announcements in regards to the different theme parks across the country. And now today I'm going to be talking about the Disneyland announcements in a separate video that should come out either later today or is already out. We'll be talking about the Walt Disney World announcements just because there's so much to talk about and there's so much thoughts I want to get into this that I don't want to spend a whole 30 minutes on a video. And keep in mind, number one, I'm going to be fully transparent with my thoughts and opinions. I never want to sugarcoat it with you guys. I want to keep my opinions how I feel and not, like I said, just fabricate them anyway. We're also going to be talking about the stuff that they missed out on that I feel like they should have talked about in this panel, but they didn't. But with that being said, let's get into everything that they announced from today's panel with Josh tomorrow. Alright, first and foremost, and probably the most exciting thing out of the Disneyland news is the Avengers Campus new attraction, which they're deeming as a third attraction. Now, when I first saw this third attraction headline, I was like, there's only one ride in Avengers Campus, but they're counting Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout as well. So this is a new third attraction, the one that we're all anticipating to be a Quinjet e-ticket attraction and open up in Phase 2, a part of Avengers Campus. However, we know that's now been changed. It's no longer deemed as the Quinjet attraction, as we are going to be going into the multiverse. Guests at Disney's California Adventure Park will soon head into the multiverse alongside fan favorite superheroes, as the details on a never-before-seen third attraction with a brand new story was announced for Avengers Campus. Joining the battle with the Avengers means facing foes from anywhere and everywhere, including a new threat, King Thanos, a multiverse variant designed specifically for Avengers Campus. I'm really excited about this third attraction coming to Avengers Campus. It's been heavily rumored for the longest time, and now they confirmed it, I believe, on Friday and announced that they were going to release more details at today's panel, which they did. And we also got a new character that we know we're going to encounter, which is King Thanos. Looks very menacing. I would hope that they would put him as kind of a walk-around character. Anyway, so it's going to be cool that we encounter King Thanos. Now, what exactly will this ride be? The original rumor when they first talked about the Quinjet ride was it's going to be an updated version of Flight of Passage. As you know, you get pushed out, and what you're riding is a Banshee. You get pushed out into a massive screen, and it makes you feel like you're actually flying on a Banshee. Well, now with this promo art, it looks more similar to like I want to say a Minion Mayhem ride system, if they're still going with the kind of theater aspect attraction. Now, I don't think Disney would go that route. If they did, I think that would take a huge hit on them. I think tons of people would be disappointed, especially with an attraction of the magnitude of Avengers and just the Marvel in general. Now, what this could also be looking like is with the ride layout and what we see in the bottom part of the car is something similar to Spider-Man over at Islands of Adventure or Transformers The Ride at both Universal Studios parks. And now, if that's the case, I think it will be 10 times better because they can really utilize screens. Obviously, they'd be a little bit similar to web slingers. However, there'd be a lot more movement and not so much more just slow moving along the track while you're shooting your webs at stuff. So nonetheless, out of everything that was announced today for Disneyland, I think that I'm most excited about the multiverse attraction coming soon to Avengers Campus. We don't have a time frame for this, but one could hope we'll start to see construction soon. Up next, we have something that nobody expected, which is a Big Hero 6 retheme to one of the lands over at California Adventure. So the Pacific Wharf will be officially transforming into San Francisco from the Oscar-winning Disney animation film Big Hero 6, complete with a place to meet Baymax himself, as well as new spots to eat and shop. Now, this is deemed as a reimagination, so that whole Pacific Wharf section is going to be completely changed. And like I said, this is something that none of us expected. I think that the concept art looks neat. However, was this necessary is the question. And to that, I say I don't really think so. I think that they could have put more money into different projects. You know, there's a whole big thing going on with Disneyland 4 that they could be putting their money into, but I don't think this was really necessary. I already enjoy Pacific Wharf. It's a good vibe walking in there. There's plenty of different food options in there. Obviously, we have the bakery tour, which is a lot of fun, getting the free sourdough bread. And honestly, I feel like that part of the park is one of the only remaining things that ties into California, hence the name California Adventure. Which brings me to my next point. It seems like with them putting more IPs into the parks and just the parks around the country in general, that California Adventure should be renamed to some form of Studios Park, because there's only going to be one more California aspect. No, let's say two. Grizzly Peak area and Buena Vista Street. Yes, you could say that Hollywoodland also kind of fits the theme of California, but not really, as that's just a generic, studio set where they kind of just have a little bit of everything. There's still IPs in there. There's still Monsters Inc., Disney Junior, etc., etc. So really, there's only two remaining aspects of California within Grizzly Peak and Buena Vista Street. But I'm excited for it. Anything new coming as far as reimagination goes is typically a good thing, so we'll see what they do with it. Right across the way, we know that the Paradise Pier Hotel is currently getting transformed into the now newly named Pixar Place Hotel. So transformation is underway currently. They kind of shared a look of what the new pool area is going to look like with the water slides. Not too much going on with Pixar Place. We've been trying our best to kind of get the updates going as more construction starts to happen. More recently, the Paradise Pier Hotel sign actually came down in preparations to put a Pixar Place sign up there, but we don't know if work's going on as far as the rooms go. Obviously, we haven't seen anything in the lobby yet, so I'd assume that I'm going to guess right now that Pixar Place Hotel will be completely finished in 2023. However, we have no confirmation on that. We just were given a look at what's to expect. Something that we were given a first look at is, of course, the new ToonTown reimagination. So right now at Disneyland Park, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway will invite guests into a cartoon world where Toon rules apply, and Mickey's ToonTown will step foot into a new era of inclusive experiences for families of all ages when it opens up in early 2023. I think what makes me excited about this is, number one, they shared a first look at it, of what it's going to look like more in depth, like McDonald's boat and just the surrounding areas of ToonTown. But number two, they actually shared scenes inside the queue of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and obviously it's a lot different compared to the one over in Florida. The Florida obviously had the Chinese theater, and there's not a whole ton of theming in there other than once you get past the pre-show. Then that's where the more kind of cartoon immersive feeling gets in. But with our queue over here, it's going to be a lot more immersive and tie a lot more into the story, which I'm super excited about. We have no confirmation on whether or not the ride's actually going to be different, but rumors are suggesting that it's going to be the exact replica. Nonetheless, though, I am excited for ToonTown. Like, this is high on my anticipation list, and the fact that they're still promoting ToonTown as early 2023 makes me excited, because that means that it's not delayed. We're not going to have this thing to where it was early 2023 and now it's going to be late 2023. We know that they're still marketing it as early 2023, and that of course will add another attraction. I'd argue it's an e-ticket attraction added to the Disneyland park, which they need because Disneyland is very, very packed already. So having another attraction there to eat the crowd would be nice. And of course, a lot more people are going to want to go back into ToonTown once it's all completely reimagined, because it'll be a lot more of an enjoyable place for all families of all ages. All right, we got Galaxy's Edge news now. Now, as soon as John stepped up on the stage, it was kind of like a big thing, because a lot of people were like, oh my god, he's going to announce something big. Obviously, if he's coming up, he's going to talk about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. There's going to be a new attraction added to Galaxy's Edge. Well, no, unfortunately, we just got an announcement on Mando and Grogu that will encounter guests starting in mid-November inside Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at the Disneyland park. We don't have confirmation for Florida yet. We just know that this is going to happen in the Disneyland park. And we did get our first look of what they're going to look like inside Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which they'll start appearing in mid-November. So that's exciting. Hopefully they start to kind of break away from this timeline a lot more and not really worry about it as much. I mean, we saw it with Boba Fett, and hopefully putting new additions to Galaxy's Edge will mean we could get new attractions, not particularly rides, but maybe like a new themed restaurant or something along those lines. All right, the one big question on everybody's mind is the Splash Mountain retheme. When is Tiana's Bayou Adventure going to open up? When is Splash Mountain going to close? Well, we still don't have a Splash Mountain closure date, but we do have some more information in regards to Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So Imagineers join tomorrow on stage to discuss new story details for Tiana's Bayou Adventure coming to Disneyland Resort. And yes, that whole late 2024 timeframe still stands in place for both Disney World and Disneyland. However, we don't have any confirmation on when Splash Mountain will close down. You gotta think it's gonna be sometime in 2023. I would say early 2023 if they are planning to do Tiana's Bayou Adventure as good as they're promising it to be. Because if they're gonna only do this retheme in under a year, then one could expect that maybe it's not gonna be the best retheme. But if they actually take their time to do it, then that's how you know they're really thinking about it. They're gonna put tons of animatronics in there. But they also have a little display model at the D23 Expo where they kind of showed what Tiana's Bayou Adventure is supposed to look like. There's rumors suggesting that the actual final scene is going to be Dr. Facilier, since the lighting in there looks purple, and obviously in his scene the lighting's purple, so that'll be exciting. Lots of people have been discussing that from once this first got announced, is the Friends on the Other Side scene being placed in that final drop, which I think will be an amazing addition to this attraction. But we don't know when Splash Mountain's closing, so stand by on that. We do know that Tiana's Bayou Adventure will be opening up in late 2024, so you can kind of base your speculation around that. Alright, last but not least for Disneyland, before we get into the stuff that was not announced, we have information on entertainment. So we're getting a new World of Color show. So we're getting a World of Color 1 and a new fireworks show called Wondrous Journeys. These will kick off in late January at the Disneyland Resort. World of Color 1 at Disney California Adventure will celebrate the storytelling legacy started by Walt Disney a century ago. It's going to be World of Color like you've never seen it before, with an all-new inspiring story told through some of your favorite characters. Wondrous Journey at Disneyland Park will ignite the wonder in everyone and feature nods to all 60 Walt Disney Animation Studios filmed to date, taking viewers on a journey filled with artistry, music, storytelling, and heart. And we also got confirmation that Magic Happens is finally returning this spring. The parade that only 2 weeks worth of guests got to see, and I was happy enough to see it myself. I love Magic Happens so much, and I'm so excited that we will finally be able to experience it once again in spring 2023. Now with World of Color 1, with the concept art, we can already see films like Coco, Mulan, Moana, and Encanto, Soul. Those will all be featured in World of Color, and honestly, I'm a little bit bummed because I am perfectly fine with seeing the same World of Color over and over. Obviously, it's a little bit outdated, but I think that it's just perfect. Like, I don't think that there's a lot of 19 Spectaculars out there that are 100% perfect. I think that World of Color is 100% perfect, and really, I'm just hoping that it's not ruined by this new show, World of Color 1. I'm really hoping that they put in several aspects that already makes this original World of Color great into this new one. Alright, but that's everything that was announced for the Disneyland Resort as far as everything coming from the D23 Expo. Now, there's a lot that left fans a little bit disappointed. How come there wasn't all this stuff talked about? Well, let's talk about the things that weren't talked about during this panel. First, we got no word on the Treehouse retheme. That Treehouse retheme has looked like it stayed the same for months now. You'd think that Josh would do some nod as to what that Treehouse retheme is going to be. What can we expect for it? Is it going to be Encanto? Is it going to be something else? Is it going to be a generic Adventureland theme? Nothing at all. So that's a little bit of a bummer. Of course, the big question is Disneyland 4, the proposed third gate that everybody's talking about, or the land expansions for both Disneyland and California Adventure. Nothing there was talked about at all, which was very interesting because I feel like that's one of their projects that they're really passionate about, and I think that if they didn't talk about that, then it's not looking too hot for a third gate. Either that, or we're not going to get something until like 2030, which is fine because the future of Disneyland will always be developing. But yeah, no Disneyland 4 news at all, which you'd think that they'd make some mention to. Obviously, we already talked about it before, but we got no Splash Mountain closure time frame at all. And the big one that was really rumored was the Tomorrowland overhaul. Lots of people were suggesting that a People mover attraction could be making its return to the Tomorrowland at Disneyland. However, no Tomorrowland talk at all. This Tomorrowland overhaul is promised, like, I want to say 3 years ago. Disney mentioned it themselves. However, now, I don't think it'll ever happen. I really don't, unless, like I said, it's another one of those projects that will happen in 2030. Over at Tokyo Disneyland, they're not getting their new Tomorrowland overhaul until 2027. So you gotta think, with the rate of Disneyland construction, we probably won't get that anytime soon either. So that's a huge bummer, because I know that's one of the big rumors that everybody was talking about leading up to the D23 Expo. And also, they still have plans to use the Star Wars launch bay now for a DVC lounge. That's kind of pointless in my opinion. So we know that Tomorrowland's not getting any progress made anytime soon. Alright, but that is everything that was not talked about for Disneyland. I know I probably missed a couple of things, like when's Downtown Disney District opening, but those are just small things I feel like we can all predict ourselves. I want to know what you guys think about all the Disneyland announcements. Are you excited about them? Did it leave you wanting more from the panel? Because I feel like that's a general consensus, at least for Walt Disney World. Or are you okay with what they gave? And if so, let me know down below in the comments section what you're most excited for everything that was announced. As for today's video, make sure you check out the Walt Disney World version of this video of everything that was announced, including a brand new Zootopia land potentially coming. Make sure to subscribe with those bell notifications on, and as always, my name is Scott, positivity is key, and most importantly, remember to keep exploring. Peace out, everybody.